I know the title sounds a bit sensationalist, but hear me out. Maybe it's time to bust the process. The 76ers lost far more than just one playoff round to a tough Boston team who might have their number. They didn't just get swept. They aren't just a young core who still needs playoff experience. This team was a mess for quite some time. I'm not going to spend a whole video telling you how huge of a mistake the large contracts for both Al Horford or Tobias Harris are, how they shouldn't have let JJ Redick go on such a fair contract, or how for sure it seems like Brett Brown being fired is pretty much a done deal at this point. What I am here to tell you is that if this team keeps its heels in the mud, they will be stuck as a playoff pretender, and not a true title contender. And sure, maybe in an alternate universe, this team could have worked out if they had the absolute perfect role players to fit with both Ben and Joel. But fundamentally, I don't see how this team can repair itself without making drastic changes beyond a new coach and some new role players. I want to make one thing clear. I'm not saying that this is an easy choice to make, and it's even trickier now with Ben Simmons' injury. But this situation reminds me of a controversial decision many years ago when the Warriors traded Monta Ellis to the Bucks. When it first happened, a lot of people thought that was a bad idea, but it ended up being one of the greatest moves in Warriors history. So in this video, I'm going to share with you two potential scenarios that the 76ers could take if they do decide to pull the plug on one of their stars. Scenario 1. Trading Ben Simmons for the Warriors' second round pick. In this scenario, first we swap Al's bad contract for Andrew Wiggins' bad contract. This clears up the front court logjam, and it allows the 76ers to get a player who, while in a vacuum isn't probably better than Al Horford at his best, but should fit better on this team since there would be way more floor spacing. Then, trading Ben for the pick will allow the 76ers to draft someone like LaMelo Ball or Killian Hayes. LaMelo Ball, if pans out as projected, will be a much better three-point shooter than Ben is, and this would be by far, though he wouldn't be as good defensively or as athletic as Ben. If LaMelo and Joel mesh well within 2 seasons, Joel would be 28 and LaMelo would be 21. The 76ers can build a team that is designed for Joel to draw the double team inside the paint and then kick it out to open shooters, or simply have Joel dominate the paint if the defense doesn't decide to double team. If they draft Killian Hayes and he pans out as projected, this team can become a pick and roll nightmare for opposing defenses, as operating the pick and roll is one of Killian's greatest strengths. Now, he might not be a better three-point shooter than LaMelo. On the flip side, he may be a better passer. In scenario 2, we give up Joel Embiid for this same pick. In this situation, Al Horford stays on the team and is the starting power forward / center depending how you want to rotate things. Now, if I were the Sixers, I would still try to trade him, but I don't know who would want to take him unless you're willing to take in a bad contract yourself again. The Warriors still unload Andrew Wiggins, but this time, because of numbers, it's straight up for Joel, and the 76ers should still try to draft Killian Hayes or LaMelo Ball and have LaMelo play shooting guard. And here's why they should go for a guard instead of a center. Remember in 2018 when the Sixers had a 17-game win streak which was tied for the longest in Philly sports history? This streak started with Ben Simmons and Joel, but Joel got injured on March 28th against the Knicks, yet that didn't stop Ben from winning the last 8 regular season games and playing a completely different style as the official head of the team without Joel. They did this by vastly improving the speed and pace of their offense, and Ben in 2018 was surrounded with shooters. If you're trying to reshape the entire dynamic of this team, drafting a center like James Wiseman would be kinda fruitless. Drafting a center wouldn't make sense. I would rather just keep Joel and Ben together and then surround them with three-point specialists and other various shooters. The problem with that dream becoming a reality is that that would be a contractual nightmare, since who on earth is going to take those monstrous Al Horford or Tobias Harris contracts Celtics, without also getting a star like Ben or Joel, or having them retake someone else's bad contract. And of course, there are many different other scenarios, but we'd be sitting here all day. And if you disagree with me, hey, that's awesome. I could be wrong. Maybe Ben and Joel can work as a duo, and maybe the process can still be salvaged. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think one of these two should be traded? And who would you trade and why? Or do you think they should stick together? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this situation. And if you haven't done so yet, check out my NBA Justice League vs Avengers animation to find out which super team would win in a 5-on-5. I'm Rebound Rewind, and I'll fast forward to you later.